I don't have to clap, do I?
Just do it for fun. Your kid likes it.
Look
1, 2, 3. We didn't even do it at the same time. 1,
I was timed
2, 3. That was
No,
better.
we were way off.
Okay, 1,
Are you delayed?
2, 3. Is there a delay?
I can see when you're hitting it, I'm hitting it.
Okay, well, I don't know. That's interesting. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're back for another episode of the TWC Show. It's your boy, the Wrestling Classic Justin, here with Arvy, Rain City Toys. We're doing it virtual this week because I pulled my back and I'm in pain and I can barely walk for long periods of time. And if I was going to drive to your house, I'd have a hard time getting out of the car. So here we are.
You got to work on that core.
I do, man. I do. I should have stretched before I picked up my nephew. I literally don't dude, a shock to my entire system. I did it and I still picked him up and carried him to where I had to take him. But after I was like, what did I do? What the fuck is happening here?
How much does it weigh?
I don't even know. Not even that much. It's because I squatted. I did like a full squat. And then I put my arm under him and I lifted him like this. And then, but it wasn't even the lifting part. When I did the squat, I pulled something on my back. And then I lifted him and I probably didn't make it any better.
You must know some physios or chiros that can help you out.
I do. Someone told me to come all the way back down to Surrey, and I was like, do you know where I live? Like, that's like not just a pop-in type of situation. We are here, guys, to talk about Backlash. We're here to recap Backlash.
You mind if I drink on virtual?
Go ahead, drink. Cheers.
Yeah, cheers. Cranberry, no vodka. Sponsor me.
Thing's lying to you. It's full of vodka. 7% alcohol. We are here to talk about Backlash. I want to give you guys a recap. It was last night. I was supposed to come over to your house and watch it, but once again, I pulled my back, so that did not happen. But I think right off the bat, what were your opinions of the show? How'd you feel about it?
I actually enjoyed it. I remember telling you about it. From start to finish, I was actually quite entertained. I mean, I'm not going to say it was the most exciting show of all time, but I enjoyed it from start to finish. Especially the Gunther and the Pat McAfee match. I was so sold on that. Pat trying to protect Michael Cole and then Michael Cole trying to come in and get the pin for Pat McAfee. But I was really invested.
Was that the match of the night for you?
I would say so. And funny enough, I actually didn't even watch any of Pat McAfee's promos leading up to it. Like I would just kind of skim through it. But I was so invested in that match.
Yeah, so I was the opposite, specifically with that match. I watched the promos. I thought the promos were good. I thought their face-to-face was good. I thought Pat McAfee's big political propaganda promo on the desk where he put himself over and then said he wanted to wrestle Gunther was good. I enjoyed it. But I don't know, for some reason, like, as I was watching the pay-per-view, or the PLE as we should call it now, Premium Live Event on the Peacock or Netflix, I was like, oh, this is the card? Like, this is it? Like, and I don't know, maybe because we're just off of WrestleMania and we had 2 nights of, like, more than 5 matches on our card, but WWE's been doing this for a minute with these 5-match cards. But for some reason, like, I don't know, like, I was like, these are the 5 matches they chose. Like, you didn't want to do, like, you didn't want to do Io and Rhea versus Roxanne and Julia on this card. You didn't want to do...
It gave you a Saturday Night Live event kind of feel.
Yeah. I think they were putting a lot of money on the fact that it was Randy Orton versus John Cena, but, like, that also was, like, they're both older. And Cena's not the best.
I thought the card was good. On paper, it didn't look as appealing, but as I watched through it, I don't know, maybe because I watched it by myself with no expectations, I just kind of like zoned out.
Yeah, it was a good show. I'm just saying I don't know. Like, okay, let's talk about it. First things first, for me with Pat McAfee and Gunther, and we'll talk about it too, is just that I don't think I was that invested in the match. So as it was going on, I'm just like, because my thing was this about that, right? If you're just watching with 0 expectations and not trying to analyze it, 100% is probably solid. But in my head, I was like, the outcome of this match means nothing. Like, does that make sense? Like, and also, I'm like, Gunther's not gonna lose. They did a good little fake sells there where it seemed like, oh, Michael Cole's gonna help Pat McAfee win.
I thought Gunther was gonna lose when Matt.
Yeah, or like Pat almost had him. And honestly, if that happened, where like somehow Pat won because of Michael helping him, maybe I would have enjoyed it more. But because it finished in such a predictable way, and then also like there's no follow-up to this. Like, okay, Gunther gave Pat his flowers, but what happened to Pat saying all this? You're washed, you're not the same anymore. Like, that's it. Now Pat's gonna go back to normal. Michael Cole's gonna be cool. And then Gunther's going to move on. Like, I think that was part of the reason why I'm like, this match means nothing. Not saying it wasn't a good match or not. I'm just like, it means nothing. It shouldn't be on this show. This should be on Saturday night's main event. This should be on Raw. Like this.
It'd be great now if Gunther just bullies Michael Cole for the rest of his life.
Then it'd be if that's the case. But it's like he kind of showed them respect at the end and moved on. You know what I was trying to say?
The story.
And it just felt like a match. I feel like I think the perfect example was that because they promoted it for the next night. The tag match with the women, like that could have been on this card instead of that, or like anything with Seth and Braun and these guys. Like there's nothing on that. Like,
how about the men's tag team division? Like still nothing. No love for the tag team division.
And they're doing a great job on SmackDown, the tag division. On Raw, I'm trying to think who the tag champions are right now.
New Day.
Oh, okay, yeah. SmackDown tag division should have been on the show. They've been killing it. They're stacked right now. They got DIY. They got Pretty Deadly. They got the Street Profits. They got Fraxium. They got everybody right now. They got Motor City Machine Guns.
For the card, though, my least favorite match probably was Lyra versus Becky.
That was lacking something too.
Yeah. Did she break her nose or something happened? She got elbowed in the eye, right?
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know if the finish was too quick or they called it early or if that was supposed to end like that.
No, it was also one of those situations, and they did it in it kind of did it in the main event too in a weird way. Obviously, that was more because of R-Truth, but there was a lot of spamming finishers on the show, and then ending the match with like a roll up or a quick pin or something instead. You know,
was the title on the line?
Yes, it was on the line, I believe.
I see.
It was a solid match, but the fact that was the only women's match on this show, I'm like, and maybe that's my problem. Maybe I thought there should have been at least one more women's match instead of the rest all being men's matches. I thought the Fatal 4-Way was good. I remember talking to people while I was watching, talking to the OGs. We were in a chat, and I was like, my prediction is Jacob's going to retain, but like I wouldn't be mad if anybody else won the title right now, like whatever, right? But it was a good match. It was a good way to open the show. It was fun, Fatal 4-Way. Good way to get Drew and McIntyre out of the picture. They fought with each other through the crowd and went through a table. Good tease that LA Knight was just going to win it back, and then Jeff Cobb made his debut. Do you have any knowledge of who Jeff Cobb is? Have you ever seen him wrestle before?
No. Was he in AEW for a bit?
He would pop in and out once in a while.
Yeah, so really that's where I've seen him in AEW, but I don't know anything of his New Japan Pro Wrestling run. But I did read that him and Jacob Fatu have been feuding the last few years, or I don't know, maybe 5 years ago.
They had in the past, and Jeff Cobb's done a lot in the Indies. He's actually wrestled here in Vancouver a ton against guys like Al Fantasmo and Artie and stuff. He'd come here quite frequently back in the day. Great guy, great wrestler. He's not Samoan, he's Hawaiian, still an Islander, I guess.
Filipino, isn't he?
He's Filipino, but he's from Hawaii.
Okay.
I think he's a Hawaiian and Filipino, like a mix.
Okay.
He could pass as a Samoan. He's not a Samoan though. Then again, like Jacob Fatu and Tonga Loa and oh my god, the other one that I'm a fan of, Tama Tonga, like they're not Samoan either, they're Tongan, so they're also Islanders. They're just, you know.
Can you imagine if Bronson Reed comes back? Now you got him, you got Cobb, you got
because didn't Bronson team with the Bloodline and War Games? That's where he got hurt.
Oh, we were there. We saw that.
Oh yeah, it was that War Games.
It was that War Games.
And then I don't think I've watched that back on TV properly. Like we tried watching it at your house one day. I remember it being on, but I don't remember actually sitting there and watching the match properly.
Yeah, I don't recall. No, the only thing we watched was the entrance of Jey Uso to watch your.
That's honestly what my memory is specifically watching the Jey Uso entrance right now. So I'm like, we must have watched it then.
Just to look for your sign. The rest of the
no, shout out to you guys for making that. It's funny though, because people did there's a page on Instagram that's like, man, LA Knight cannot get away from this Bloodline vortex. He's getting screwed over by them. But you're just waiting for the inevitable. Like my whole thing was, I said the same thing at WrestleMania. I was saying the same thing about Backlash. At some point, Solo's help's gonna screw over Jacob, and that's why they're gonna have beef. So far, Solo's help has been helping Jacob, and it's been working. But at some point, you're gonna be like, okay, when are those two gonna pop off?
Who turns face? Jacob, I'm assuming. Jacob would be the face.
I think in a wrestling booking way, Solo should end up being the face. But I just think based off the fan base, they like Jacob better.
Yeah.
So you have to go with Jacob. Like he's just more over. Like they're gonna want to cheer for him more anyways.
Well, he's got good mic skills too. He can talk. Whatever he says sounds very authentic and real. And
he's got a crazy presence.
He's hood.
Yeah.
He talks like he's from the hood. So
You believe that he's fucked. You know what I'm trying to say? Like you believe the character he's portraying as really him. And I don't know if we did talk about this on Jesse Happen last week, but my WrestleMania trip or whatever week that was. But I'm telling you, when I saw him at that bar when I was hammered and I left the club Live and I was by myself wearing my sting shirt in the backpack and I went to go say bye to EJ guys and he was doing that little shaky thing to like make fans not come around. I'm like, oh, he's really like this.
He lives it.
He lives it. But I enjoyed that match. I'm kind of there's a couple of things that stood out to me about that match. Once again, don't give a shit. Not an analyst, but I'm going to analyze for the sake of the show. I don't feel like I felt like Drew in my mind personally, and I know we've seen guys like Randy Orton and Cena and big names go back and win the US title, but I just feel like Drew's bigger than the US title. I feel like Drew going after the world title, facing Cena maybe, or Jey Uso. Like if Drew wasn't want to beat Jey Uso, like I wouldn't be mad about it.
Yeah, but I think now Seth is probably going to take the title from Jey.
I think Seth is going to be distracted for a minute with Punk and Roman, and then maybe down the road. I don't think Jay's going to have a long run.
No, I don't see him.
I don't think he needs it.
He doesn't. Well, I think it'd be better if how we always talk about it. If he keeps chasing, right? He loses it, then he wins it back. Loses it, wins it back. I think that'd be better for his character.
Rey Mysterio. I know I'm missing one. He was a world champion twice.
Mm-hmm.
But the first time he won the world title, held it for 4 months, and that was okay. Then he won the WWE title and lost to Cena the same day.
Yeah.
The thing that people remember is that he won those belts. Sometimes they don't remember how long those reigns actually were. If you go back in the history books and see how long Randy Orton's title reigns were, some of them were like 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. Like it's crazy because we get upset that a title reign ends quickly, but then you also you just remember as time goes on that they were a champion. You don't really remember how long unless it's like extremely long, like Roman Reigns. You don't really remember if it was like 2 months.
I think I could be wrong, but someone was showing stats how Cena's total 17 title runs isn't even it's not more than Roman's.
Yeah, do you get what I'm trying to say? Austin was probably the same thing. I don't think another really popular one of a guy that was super over that won the world title one time was Eddie Guerrero, but he also only held it for 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
February, March, April, May. I think he lost to JBL in June or something. So it's like, it's like as time goes on, people don't remember how long your reigns were. They just remember you were a champion. I think with Jey, it's cool that he'll always have the statistic of being a world champion.
Well, I think it's also going to depend who he's feuding with. Like if he's involved with Seth and Braun, I think if he goes a little longer, it's okay because the storyline's intriguing.
Then I still think Seth and Braun are going to fuck with Roman and Punk. I think Jay's biggest issue is going to be Sami turning.
Mm-hmm. What if Sammy's a third man to Seth's crew?
Oh, that'd be nuts. It'd be a swerve. Because we have seen they've dropped seeds plenty of times. Or even the first night of the turn where Seth was trying to tell Sami, like, go to SmackDown or it'll be dangerous here for you.
No, obviously they're gonna bring in a member. They're gonna have to because the feud is what? Who was in the ring that time? It was Sami,
Punk, and
Jey. So, well, unless if Sami ups.
How cool would it be? And I know like a lot of people think this is like the consultation world title because the WWE title is like the main one or whatever, and we've had universal titles and the world titles and stuff like that before. But it would be cool if like Sami was the one to beat Jey too, because Sami's never had a world title on the main roster either.
Yeah, I'd be okay with Sami winning. That's
and especially that belt, because the one that Cody's holding and the one that Cena's holding right now, that's the one where I feel like they hold more prestige of and they want the reigns to be longer and more significant now. Well, this world title is like we can bounce around this one, like you know what I mean? Like we can put on Jey Uso, why not? Like,
Sami winning would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool. But yeah, I enjoyed that match, and Jacob I think was the right person to win it. I thought it was a fun fatal 4-way. Lyra versus Becky, like you said, I have nothing against the match.
It was just my least favorite on the card.
I think maybe the next match will be better, right? And maybe I felt like this was like, sometimes you have a match to set up the next match, kind of like doesn't need to happen. So like whatever the blow off ends up being the best match, like Clash of Champions 2019, I think it was. They did like Sasha versus Becky, and nobody remembers that, but then it led to the Hell in the Cell, which you're like, oh, that was the banger. You know what I mean? Like sometimes this was just the match they needed to have to get to the next match. That's how I felt about it.
Yeah, again, it was just my least favorite match. I didn't think it was like crappy. It was just my least favorite of the night.
And just because I'm not trying to hold back my opinions on here, because this is where you guys can hear my true honest opinions. Like Becky one isn't wrong. She went on like the Raw post show and she talked about how like it's crazy people want me to move over and let these young girls come up and have times, but then like your men's division top of the card is like all 40 plus. No one's telling Seth to move over. No one's telling Punk to move over. No one's telling Cena and Randy to move over. They're all happy that they're doing the thing. But I come back and everyone's like, oh, look at her, Becky Hogan. You know what I mean? Like, she's not wrong. And then on the flip side,
the picture, there's nothing wrong with her being involved in the world title picture.
100%. And on the flip, like, I don't want to see the 4 horsewomen just like be forgotten now because there's all these new women. Like they are big. Charlotte, Becky, Bayley, and Sasha are all a big deal at the end of the day. And but that all being said too, like Lyra for me, great wrestler, super dope human being. Interviewed her like 3 times. She's so nice. Just something about her doesn't click with me. I'm just not like I don't have a connection to Lyra. You know what I mean? Like maybe it's winning or losing does like I like I like Rhea, I like Liv. I even have a connection with Liv. I like Bianca to an extent, but like I don't have like a connection to Lyra where I'm like I find myself rooting for her in any situations,
Does Dom know you have a connection with Liv?
Not like that type of connection. I mean, like I rock with Liv. Like it's exciting. Like she's such a good like a heel. Like her winning and like what I mean. It's entertaining seeing her get away with wins. And like the whole Dom stealing Dom storyline was great, right? They got me invested in her. Like.
Yeah, like you said, I got no problem with Becky being in the picture.
Yeah. When Bianca's in the match, Bianca's in a place now that Charlotte's always been in, where it's like, no, if Bianca's in the match, there is a chance she's gonna win. Doesn't matter what the storyline is. There's always a 50-50 that Bianca might win. That's a Charlotte thing, right? Like it doesn't matter what the story is, putting someone over or whatnot. No matter what the situation is, it's always 50-50 if Charlotte's in the match. No. It's never 80-30 or 40-70 or whatever, the 40-60. It's always 50-50. That's a Bianca thing. And then Rhea's like almost at that point too, because like how over she is. She has my friends always joke about how like when Rhea comes out, it's like the glass shattering for Austin. It's just gonna get a pop every time. This is my brutality, and the fans go crazy. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, it was a good match overall, though. It just and then Dominik and Penta, it was fun. Shenanigans. El Grande Americano came out to headbutted Penta, cost him the match.
That was a great finish. Yeah, I like those kind of finishes.
No, I thought it was great, and it was exactly what it was. Like Dom got away with it. His boys tried to come out there and help, but they didn't help. But they caused enough distraction that El Grande Americano could help. Yeah,
I guess the future is getting closer to Finn versus Dom, right?
Yeah, and I'm down until we get there for Dom to beat a bunch of other luchadors.
Mm-hmm.
So he can go around being like, I'm the greatest luchador. And
I just love how Grande Americano tucks that little metal piece in his eyes. And just the headbutt. Just knocks out.
What an old school gimmick. Oh, I'm going to put this metal piece in my under my mask. I'm going to headbutt people, It was like the old, remember, was it Lex Luger? Like you got in an accident or something? Now he had like a metal plate in his forearm, and that was this thing.
Was the elbow or the forearm?
It was like a forearm. So like
you couldn't run you. You couldn't
run you, or like you'd be hit with this metal plate. Like, wasn't that illegal? Like, should that like be? Shouldn't he be banned from professional wrestling?
I remember that. They showed the X-ray on TV too.
What?
They showed the X-ray on TV.
Yeah. Or like they would have like the randomest things. Like I remember, I don't even know what the weapon was. But if you had a loaded fist, if it was like you had a bar and you're like this, now you have a loaded fist. And if you punch someone, then it's harder, Or the OG William Regal power of the punch, where this guy would just pull out brass knuckles out of his trunks and just.
Well, that's what Logan Paul does. So.
Oh yeah, still William Regal's gimmick. But obviously, I don't. Yeah, I didn't expect Dom to lose yet. I think Dom's run's gonna be funny, and I think Finn might be the one he ends up facing. So you might have a point there. And then Gunther and McAfee, we already talked about it right off the bat. Like I didn't think it was bad. I was there for the drama too. I literally said at some point Michael Cole needs to get into this match, and then he got up and left the table. I'm like, oh, here we go. But for me, I think either it was at the point of the card where like, and that's another problem with these 5-match cards. Which match was I supposed to be like my go make a sandwich show match?
Yeah. It was too short. It was too short to go make a sandwich.
That's what I'm trying to say. So there was gonna be a match at some point where I'm like, I'm gonna check out a little bit. Unfortunately, it was this match. I checked out a little bit. Like I saw the entrances, I saw the beginning, don't know what the hell happened in the middle, and then saw it from when Michael Cole came in. But that's my problem with Gunther, because I'm like, it's probably just a bunch of chops and stuff anyways.
Most of it was.
You get what I'm trying to say? And I think that's great. I enjoy that, but maybe not on this card where like, because then I got back up and ready for Cena and Orton. Obviously, I was like, all right, let's do this. See how this goes, right? How'd you feel about Cena and Orton?
I think we all got what we thought we were going to get. Just a bunch of interferences, a low blow. We don't
spammed finishes like crazy.
Yeah, I think
they're doing each other's finishers.
There was a little too many RKOs with Cena kicking out, because they still try to make him like goofy as a bad guy, but like he kicks out of all the strong finishes still. But I don't see him losing anytime soon.
So many ref bumps to make Randy Orton look good. So many ref bumps, so that like it's like, oh no, Randy had the W, but the ref's out. I mean, when have we ever had the staff come out there to check on a ref? Like all those guys came out there to check on a ref.
So obviously, anytime Cena got pinned, I not once was like, oh my god, he's gonna lose. It didn't really occur to me that he was gonna lose, and he didn't. But I mean, it was a good match. I think the crowd still enjoyed it
for nostalgia purposes. And like, my only thing was this at the end of it all, and I do think first things first, I do think we're probably gonna go to like a Randy Orton Nick Aldis thing, because this is like the second time he's RKO'd him.
Yeah.
I do think the word on the street, and if you watch the press conference, Cena hit the AA on R-Truth through the table.
Yeah.
I can't say they haven't been building this R-Truth thing, because they have on SmackDown, like slightly with him being like supporting John Cena.
What if R-Truth wins the world title?
So word on the street is that R-Truth and John Cena is supposed to be the match at Saturday Night's Main Event.
Oh, okay.
So like that's which is a fair place to put it.
Well, I'll ask you now, who do you think is going to be John Cena's final opponent?
I don't know who his final opponent's going to be, but I do think Cody's the one he's going to lose the title to, and I think it'll be around SummerSlam.
I don't think so. I think his final opponent is going to be CM Punk.
So I don't think Cody's his final opponent. I just think Cody's the one to beat him for the title. Okay. When we get to and I think they announced it December 23rd I think it was the Boston Garden. I could be wrong, but I do think, I don't know, it could be Punk. Punk could be the last person he wrestles. I don't know.
Or the match they had, right, where Punk took the title away home. Now maybe he's going to hold back Cena from taking the title home.
Yeah, but then maybe it has to happen before, because I still don't think you let Cena retire a bad guy.
No.
Like, he has to turn back before this is all wrapped up. And I feel like he loses to Cody, and then he hits the AA on The Rock. All it takes for him to turn to a good guy again is beat up The Rock.
If The Rock ever wants to show up now.
Yeah. Instead of Travis Scott, we got R-Truth.
That's the problem. And I heard that Travis Scott is learning how to train with Booker T.
Oh, maybe he's in a team with Cena and Russell, Cody, and Shaq or something.
Cody and Shaq. Do you feel Cena's whole legacy now is going to be just remembered for his final year?
No, never. No, I don't think so. If anything, this is like, think of any wrestler that retired. Do you just remember the final year? You just remember Mick Foley retired? You're not like, oh, Mick Foley retired. Like, are you sitting there being like, man, like, when you think about Sting, are you just thinking about his AEW run?
No, his TNA run.
Wow, this guy didn't even say WCW. This guy said his TNA run. That's a part I'm going to clip right there.
That's what I'm thinking about.
But,
no, legacy.
Even in Sting's retirement match, they paid tribute to his like WCW characters. It wasn't even like.
When was his retirement match? Oh yeah, at
Revolution at AEW,
right?
And the Sons came out as Wolfpack Sting and the other Sting. Remember?
What happened on Dynamite this week?
There was some like multiple man tag team matches.
Is this happening again?
No, he said. So the Hurt Business Syndicate came out. Some tag team came out to challenge him. Then MJF came up and beat the shit out of that tag team. And they said, I hurt people. And they said, we'll talk to you next week. So maybe he gets in the Hurt Syndicate next week. Outside of that, I can't really tell you what else happened. Ospreay and Hangman had a promo. Now, like, it's coming to me as I was sitting here, but it's taking me a second to get there. I couldn't tell you what the main event was right now. It might have been the women.
I talked about it for 40 seconds. I think that's enough.
Okay. But yeah, and then obviously, yeah, so the main event's fine. I think we're getting Cena versus R-Truth. I enjoyed the pay-per-view. Wasn't the best. Not probably going to go watch it back or anything, but
It was good.
It was good for what it was. It was good for a Saturday afternoon, chilling, watching TV.
For a guy who had allergies and was just laying on the couch,
For a guy that blew his back out and just couldn't move, it was all right. It was decent. Though the one thing I was gonna say was, as much as this like was a nostalgia match and like they did the whole build up of showing the feud between Randy and Cena and all this stuff, and I got like, yo, this is so cool. I'm like, well, if we might not remember this as like his last match, his last retirement year, is like what you remember. But I'm like, if this is the last Cena Randy Orton match, I'm gonna remember if R-Truth coming out costing Randy. Like, if this is the last time that John Cena wrestles Randy Orton, that's gonna be the memory, and I don't know if that should have been the case.
R-Truth doing with Randy Orton, like why,
Even Randy didn't want to hit him. Even Randy hesitated, like, yo, what are you doing here? Like, I'm not gonna hit you. And that it allowed Cena to get the
I think
blow.
R-Truth versus Cena is gonna get quite the ovation, right? And the false finishes for R-Truth to win.
And long-term booking, because R-Truth has been playing that Cena's my favorite wrestler, my childhood hero for like years now. It's not even like a thing that he's been doing it for like 8-9 years now. Like, so it's the retirement year, and he gets to wrestle his childhood hero. It's gonna be fun promos, stupidity, and I don't know. Then maybe we'll figure out who Cena's next challenge is gonna be. Because there was a moment at the end of the show where Cena cut that promo about being the last real champion. And
what's the next
stalling? He was on the rope and they were stalling, and you were expecting someone to come out, and then nothing happened.
Well, what's the next pay-per-view? Night of Champions?
Night of Champions in Saudi. We got a Sad Night's main event before that.
Well, then
I'm pretty sure Money in the Bank is like June 7th or something.
So they're probably gonna have what, Jey versus Cena for Money or Night of Champions? Or no,
I don't know.
They don't have to do that.
I don't know. It depends if they're gonna do that stuff again. But we'll see. Anyways, we should wrap this up. That's our Backlash recap. I got really nothing else. Do you have anything else you want to say about it?
No. That's it.
Yeah. That's it, guys.
Hope
you enjoyed the show. Tune into Raw, CM Punk's on there. And then the tag match is happening with the women that I thought should have been on this show. Look, you guys, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. If you're just watching this and you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button and leave a comment. Got interviews with Dominik dropping, got an interview with Cappuccino Jones from the WID that I still got to drop. And then Mick Foley coming as episode 150. We still have Marcus Mathers. We have Mustafa Ali in the bag. We got Kelly in the bag. Like, we got interviews for you all that are all going to be coming out soon. Rhino, I still got to drop that one. Dropped LP and Josh Alexander this past week to promote MLP. I watched that event as well. I had it on my computer at the same time. Seemed like a solid show. Shout out to Josh Alexander becoming the first MLP World Heavyweight Champion. But Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling, check them out too. But subscribe to the YouTube channel and go check out Rain City Toys, man. Go get some toys from this guy. If you are looking for some rare figures or looking for some stuff that you think you can't find, he probably can find it. We've had stories about him finding toys for people last minute. So
that's been interesting.
Yeah. But anyways, keep doing the thing, guys, and we'll see you all next time.